Hello grade 11 learners and welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson guys, we are going to do a practical example which involves the creditors reconciliation statement. So it means now on your side you definitely need to make sure that you'll watch this recording up until the end. Before we can start guys, likewise, please make sure that you like, you share and subscribe for more educational videos. So if you like guys, it will help me as well to create more content. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see, grade 11s, this is question 2 from a past paper. If you want this past paper, you can check my TikTok profile. It is there with a memorandum as well. So the creditors reconciliation statement is out of how many marks? 13 marks. And then you're expected to complete this question in 12 minutes. Okay, so let's proceed and read the information. We're given the owner of the chicken shack, Henrietta Rowe. So it means now, guys, the name of the business that we're going to deal with is the chicken shack, the name of the business. So you are requested your assistance in reconciling the statement of account for Jan 2025 received from Percival Produce with a balance of 17,453 with Percival Produce account in the creditors ledger on the chicken shack with a balance of 9,373. So just to analyze this information that we have here, guys, on our side, we are of the view that we owe our supplier, Percival Produce, an amount of how much? 9,373 from the records of the creditors ledger. Okay, but the supplier on their side, they are of the view that we owe them an amount of 17,453. So that's why now we need to do a creditors reconciliation statement. Okay, so let's proceed. We are required to use the table provided on your answer book to reconcile the statement received from Percival Produce and Percival's Produce account in the creditors ledger of the chicken shack. So we are required as well to show for each figure use plus for increase or minus to indicate a decrease. Okay, so as you can see guys, on the other tab here, we have this answer booklet. So it means now we need to prepare the creditors ledger of the chicken shack, only focusing on one supplier, namely Percival Produce. Okay, and then as well, we need to reconcile here the statement from Percival Produce. So I want you to note 2 points, guys. When you are doing, when you're given this format, once you understand the following 2 points that I am going to give you, you will never go wrong. Okay, so 1, if now the information was properly recorded from the business side, namely with our example, you're going to see if the information was recorded on the records of the chicken shack, but now on the statement, it is not there, it is not reflecting, it will affect what? The statement from Percival Produce. So let me repeat that point again. If on our records as the business, a certain transaction was properly recorded, there were no errors in our side as a business, therefore it will affect the statement from Percival Produce. Number 2, if now on the statement, remember we receive a statement from our supplier, which is an external document. So if the statement that we are receiving from our supplier as the result of buying goods, everything on their side, it was properly recorded, there were no mistakes, there were no omissions, it will affect the creditor's ledger. Okay? So I want you guys to make sure that you get those 2 points. So let's proceed. So as you can see, we are told that the creditor's ledger is reflecting that we owe our supplier 9,373. Then you go and write the incorrect balance, but it is already given for us, and then we proceed. But from the supplier's perspective, they are of the view that we owe them 17,453. 17,453. So here is 17,453. Okay, so let's proceed. We have the information where we are told that when comparing the statement of account received from Percival Produce and the account of Percival Produce in the creditor's ledger of the Chicken Shack for Jan 2025, the following differences were noted. So difference A, a credit entry for 600 on the 3rd of Jan 2025 in the account of Percival Produce in the creditor's ledger is incorrect. This amount is owed to Percival Pretorius, an electrician, not to Percival Produce. So you need to analyze the transaction. What happened here? We have made a credit entry of 600. We increased the amount that we owe Percival Produce in our records. So who is making the mistake? The business. The business has made a credit entry of 600, increasing the amount that we owe Percival Produce. But watch this. This amount is owed to Percival Pretorius, not Percival Produce. An electrician, not to Percival Produce. So it means now we have increased the amount that we owe Percival Produce in our records. So we need to go to the creditor's ledger and decrease the amount of 600 because this 600, it is not owed to Percival Produce. However, it is owed to who? Percival Pretorius. So I hope you understand that transaction. So let's go to B. B, has per agreement between Henrietta Rowe. Remember who's Henrietta Rowe, guys? The owner of the Chicken Shack. The name of the business is Chicken Shack, right? So as per agreement between Henrietta Rowe and Percival Produce, the Chicken Shack is to receive a 10% discount, 10% cash discount on all payments made within 30 days. So what is the agreement? If we pay our supplier for goods that we bought on credit, if we pay them within 30 days, we are going to receive a discount of 10%. Look what happened. The bookkeeper of Percival Produce neglected to process the cash discount of 363 for the payment made on the 4th of Jan 2024. So we paid within 30 days. Therefore, on our side as a business, we have received a discount. But what happened? The bookkeeper of Percival Produce on their records made a mistake. So the mistake is on the statement. So if the mistake is on the statement or the person who's making the mistake is from the supplier, it will affect the statement. Okay? Thank you. If you get that. So it means now, guys, if they are saying they have neglected to take away 363 from the amount that we owe Percival Produce. Therefore, you go and take away the discount of 363. This is a discount that we have received. It was supposed to be recognized, but it was not recognized. So let's proceed to C. C, we're told that a debit note. So once you note a debit note, guys. What is a debit note? You should know that you are dealing with returns. But who is returning goods? Is the business. You are a business returning goods to their supplier. But if now, remember, we have a debit note and a credit note. A debit note is when a business is returning goods to the supplier. But if now our customers, such as if you think about any retail business or any clothing stores, if us as customers we return goods, a credit note will be issued. So a debit note, just know that we're talking about returns. So a debit note for 1,870 on 11 Jan 2025 appearing in the account of Percival Produce in the creditor's ledger is in respect of items returned to a different supplier and not to Percival produce. So what happened here? We are returning goods. We are returning goods to a different supplier, but this was recorded on the account of Percival produce. We are returning goods to who? To another supplier, but it was recorded on the records of Percival produce. So it means now, guys, returns, they decrease the amount that we owe supplier. So it means now we have reduced the amount that we owe Percival produce by 1,870 for goods that we return to a different supplier, not Percival produce. So this is what we need to do. Since the business has made a mistake on their records, it means now this transaction will affect the creditor's ledger, not the statement. So we have taken away goods of 1,870, but these goods, they were actually returned to a different supplier. It means now on our side, what do we need to do? We need to increase the account of the creditor's ledger by 1,870 because it was decreased. It was reduced by 1,870 for goods that were returned to a different supplier. Okay, so guys, definitely need to make sure that you understand that transaction. It is always there. And then we go to D as per debit note. Debit note again returns. Business is returning goods to their supplier. Dated when 13 Jan 2025. Stock valued at 297,000 were returned to Percival produce. So we have returns. The business is returning, the chicken shack is returning goods to Percival produce. They are worth 297,000. This was correctly recorded in the creditor's ledger. So if it was correctly recorded on the creditor's ledger, on our ledger account, we're not going to do anything, right? On our side as a business. But an incorrect amount of 270 appeared on the statement of account received from Percival produce. So who is making the mistake? Our supplier has made a mistake. We have returned goods that cost how much? 297,000. But on their side, they've only recognized that we returned goods of how much? 270. Remember returns, guys, they reduce the amount that we owe the supplier. So, which means now the amount that we owe our supplier, it was supposed to be reduced by 297, not only 270. So you only need to find the difference, guys. And then how much is the difference? So the difference is 27 rands. So guys, we go to our statement. On our statement, we're supposed to reduce the amount, the amount that is reflecting on the statement. It was supposed to be reduced by 297, but it was only reduced by 270. So we need to further decrease the amount that we owe the supplier by 27 rands. Okay, so let's move to transaction E. E, an error was made by posting an entry of 5,200 on the 15th of Jan 2025 from the creditors journal of the chicken shack to the account of Percival produce in the creditors ledger. This amount of 5,720 that is shown on the statement of account received from Percival produce is correct. So they are saying the statement, everything is correct on the statement. Therefore, it will not affect this column. If everything is correct on the statement, therefore it will not affect the statement from Percival's produce. So we firstly need to find the difference, guys. From the statement, we have 5,720. And then on our sides, we have only recognized an entry of 5,200. So if they are saying an entry, guys, it means now we bought more goods on credit. If we are buying more goods on credit, one, on the general ledger, the amount that we owe our supplier should increase, and then on the statement as well, the amount that we owe our supplier should increase. But the correct amount was recorded where on the statement, which is 5,720. So we need to find the difference there. You calculate the difference, you should find 520. So what are we going to do with this 520? Which means, guys, on our side as the business, we have understated the amount that we owe our suppliers since we bought goods on credit. We have understated it by 520. We go on our records and increase that amount plus 520. Okay, so we have how many transactions? We go to F. F, what transpired? An invoice 3474 2,310 on the statement from Percival Produce is in respect of another customer, Henrietta Home Goods. So what happened here? We're getting a statement from our supplier, the external document, only to recognize that our account was increased by 5,320. We never bought goods that cost 2,320. These goods, they were bought by another client of theirs, not us. Remember the name of the entity or the owner? It is Henrietta Row, not Henrietta Home Goods. So it means on their side, guys, our supplier, they have another customer who bought goods on credit, which is Henrietta Home Goods. But instead of increasing the account of Henrietta Home Goods, they have increased the amount that we owe them by how much? 2,310 on the statement. So the mistake is from the supplier side, therefore it will affect the statement. We go and remove this amount because we never bought goods of 2,310. And then we proceed. G, an invoice. Invoice, guys, just know we're buying more goods. Invoice 2301 for 4,040 on 26 Jan was erroneously posted to the account of Percival Produce in the creditors ledger of the Chicken Shack. These items were purchased from a different supplier. So what happened? We bought goods on credit, but we bought them from a different supplier, not not Percival Produce. Are we clear? Let me repeat this again. Invoice 2301 for 4,040 on 26 Jan was recorded by mistake to the account of Percival Produce. So we bought goods from a different supplier, but we decided to increase the amount that we owe Percival Produce, even though now we're buying goods from a different supplier. So the business has made a mistake. It will affect our own records. So it means now, guys, on our records, we need to go and minus this 4,400 because these goods were bought from a different supplier, but we have actually increased the amount that we owe on our records to Percival Produce. So let's go to H, where we're given the Chicken Shack neglected to record a credit purchase on 29 Jan 2025 in the creditors ledger. So we have neglected. We did not record a credit purchase. We bought more goods on credit. And then we're told that upon investigation, it was discovered that the amount reflected on the statement is 4,560. So if it is reflecting on the statement, guys, it will not affect the statement from Percival Produce, but our ledger account. So we have bought more goods on credit. It should increase the amount that we owe our supplier. We increase it by 4,000. 4,000 how much? 560. 560. Okay, so guys, when we are buying goods, always it will increase the amount that we owe our creditor if we buy them on credit. So let's go to I. So I, guys, what transpired, a discount received of 310 was posted to the credit column on the creditor's ledger. We have received a discount, but this discount was recorded where? On the credit side, on the creditor's ledger. So let me just draw a creditor's ledger. Here's the creditor's ledger. Let me just write CR for creditors. So on the credit side, credit ledger increases on the credit side, it decreases on the debit side. So a discount should be debited because a discount, it reduces the amount that we owe the supplier. But we have received a discount. But this discount, guys, it was credited. So the 310 was credited. So we need to firstly reverse the mistake by debiting 310. So this first 310 that you have will cancel the wrong entry that was initially made. And then what will happen next? This is what will happen next. We need to do the right thing. The right thing is to debit a discount. Debit a discount, 310. So you'll have 310 minus 310 minus 310. So on your side, this is what you can do. You can just say minus 310 and then you minus 310. So this mistake was made by the business, therefore it will affect our our records, namely the ledger account from our side. So we go to the last transaction, J. J, the statement from Percival Produce was received on the 30th. Received a statement when? On the 30th Jan. It does not contain an EFT payment of 4,050 made by the Chicken Shack. So we have made a payment on the 31st. So remember, guys, we have received a statement when? On the 30th. But the day after receiving the statement, we have made a payment of 4,050. So it was made a day after. Okay, so this amount, it does not appear on the statement. So if it is not appearing on the statement, it means now it will affect the statement of Percival Produce. Statement of Percival Produce. So we need to decrease the amount that we owe our supplier since we are paying by 4,050. Okay, so it means now on your side, guys, the only thing that you need to do now is to calculate the totals. So if we are doing the right thing, the ledger account should be equals to the creditor's ledger account should be equals to the statement from Percival Produce. Okay, so on my side, I'm getting 10,703 both sides. So it means now we're actually doing the right thing. So guys, likewise, when you are liking, when you are sharing my educational videos, I will get to create more educational videos. So please make sure that if you want online classes, you can DM me or you can take that number that you see, you WhatsApp me, and then we shall talk. Thank you guys. I will see you on the next one.